All right, welcome to today's episode of Drone Video Editing with Petermann. That would be me. Today I want to talk with you about cutting to a beat or a rhythm, and about transitions as well. So let's jump right into Adobe Premiere. I've prepared a small project here. In this small project I have a few clips. Within those few clips I have also some music already, and just to show you how to match your cuts to the beat. Basically, if you zoom in on your timeline like so, then your timeline allows you to move on the waveform. You can actually find where exactly the beat starts, and then you can make a cut there like I did. Let's zoom out again here. Now I'm going to show you this cut, and this is actually the next thing I want to talk about. I've recently seen something very similar in the video of someone else, and let me quickly show you what I'm talking about. If you see cut, and you saw it just made a very small jump that's called a jump cut. And if you do that in those, if you introduce those jumps without actually changing a point of view or your perspective or the scene or anything, it might look extremely awkward. You can make use of it for things like if you match the rhythm, not just one of the beats, but the rhythm of a song. You can make this an effect where you have a row of those cuts while you move forward, which can look quite interesting. But when I saw that in the video of someone else, and I asked him, why are you doing this? He was, well, I'm cutting to the beat. And what he did was he had one cut on the 5th beat, the next one was on the 6th one, then I think there was one on the 5th again, and there was one on the 7th, and the song was extremely slow, so there was no real connection between the cuts he was making and how you would experience the music. Yes, his cuts would match up with some beat, but they were just those small jumps and didn't really do anything for it. So you might want to try to avoid that, and instead use your cuts either so they're not seen at all, or they make a clean distinction between what's happening, like changing the scene. Let me quickly do something like that here, which makes it a bit more obvious. If I take, for example, this clip, and as I already know this clip, I have to move in there a bit. But if I now go, you can see there quite clear a difference that's happening there. Well, maybe I moved this one a bit too. Let's make this nice. Whoops. Maybe like this. So you have this forward movement, cut, backward movement, different scenery, works a lot nicer. So the next thing I want to talk about is transitions. I'm going to switch to a video that I've prepared. I made this video in the great tool Microsoft Movie Maker. Just to make a point, because a lot of people who start are using tools like this, and when they see the transitions, and then they do what I did with this video. You have a lot of transitions there that are just lining up video after video after video, and as you can see, the effect that has is the video starts looking like your old teacher's slideshow. which is exactly what you don't want when making drone videos. Well, maybe you do, but you shouldn't. And what I would suggest to you when you're starting is start by just cutting first, and maybe use the default transition of Premiere. I can show you that. That's the crossfade. A crossfade is not that intrusive, and you can adjust it a bit here. Let me quickly make this a bit smaller. So when you have the crossfade, it looks like this, which softens up the transition a bit rather than having this abrupt. Again, don't overuse it. Don't use it on every single cut. That can get awkward too. But just in a regular cut, and the crossfade should cover 90% of all cases. And once you have the confidence that you know when to transition and when to cut, meaning once you have done a few videos, you can start adding more fancy things like transitions that are based on some rotation, or having the camera drop, or what all those crazy YouTubers are doing. But first get a feel for where you should use a transition and where you should use a cut. I'll give you one last tip on where you want to use a transition. That is, imagine a theater, and a transition is what you would use in those moments where the curtains are closing. So I hope this was interesting to you. This is a rather short one. I'm going to aim for about the size in the future. If you liked it, please leave a like, the thumbs up, and share it. I don't really show up on the YouTube search when searching for drone video editing, so shares is how you can help me get a few people on this video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you have ideas about what you want to learn next, or if you have questions, feel free to use the comments, or just for regular comments too. Well, have a nice day and see you soon.